let's wrap up The Little Mermaid by Lego Disney. This is set number 43225. It contains 1,808 bricks, and the set was provided to me by the Lego Group for early review. And yeah, and it retails for around $160. And remember, in the last installments, we did bags. I think it was probably 5 through 11 or 7 through 11. I don't know. We're going to go back here and I'll show you. And yeah, we did 7 through 11 in the last installment. And now we're going to be doing 12 through 15, which is the back part of this clam. And so this is pretty much what we'll be working on now. And yeah, and today I believe is the 21st of April 2023. This is all we've done so far, and so far I've been pretty pleased with the build. Some things have been flaking off, but not too bad. So let me move some stuff out of the way here. We're getting close to the nitty-gritty here, and I'll slide that off to the side. So remember in the last installment I was talking about being stumped on a tutorial, and it was late at night, and just so happens right after I got done with this, an idea just popped in my head, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna plow through it, get the tutorial done. It only took 5 minutes after I figured out the little problem that I had. I thought, okay, this should be very easy. So sometimes you just have to kind of have to work your way through things here a bit. And yeah, well, it just happens when you build mocks. You know, it's all about thinking and trying to figure out and problem solving and all that stuff. So now we're going to be focusing on this today, and then I'm hoping to start on the tiny house. I got one more small building guide I got to write up. And this one's not easy because it has a lot of flexible parts. And flexible parts in the program I'm using is a really big challenge. So I had to use LDCAD to draft up some parts that were kind of bent. like flexible tubes and stuff like that. So I had to go in and draft those up. That wasn't too fun, but I managed to survive and had to import them to the program I was using. I use Stud. It's easier to do. So yeah, I got to use about 3 different. I had to use 3 different programs just to draft up a part, just one part. And boy, that's a lot of dedication, Jay, to write up building guides. Yep, but I'll tell you, it's a lot easier to make a building guide and have to watch my own videos. The videos guides were the tutorials back then. Now I'm switching more to printed form. It's easy for me to store all my building guides on a smart device like an iPad than just, you know, trying to piece it all together here. All right. It's just easier for me to read them off the iPad. And yes, you can purchase those building guides too. I have 2 places you can get them, like Rebrickable and Patreon. A lot of people tell me they don't like Patreon. They just have to request a building guide for it to be on Rebrickable. And that's pretty much how I'm doing it. All right. Okay, so it looks like, let me take a look here. Are we building duplicates? Yes. All right, I guess I'm checking for duplicates again. I'm making sure. Yeah, I'm hoping to wrap this up because I really want to get into my own builds. And yeah, no, I didn't block anybody today. Isn't that cool? Everyone's behaving, which is cool. I don't have to do that. Yeah, on my memberships on YouTube, I'm going to install some custom emotes because YouTube allows that stuff. So pretty soon, this is on my main channel. If you're on my memberships, you can hit those. I only have one member. So she will be able to use those emoticons. I haven't drafted them up yet. I'm just trying to come up with something pretty creative. Make the comment experience a bit more fun, enjoyable. I may do some of my customs and put them in there. Okay. And this piece goes here, and you're going to have to warp this a bit here. So I bet it's probably like that. And I wish I had somewhere to set this at, but the thing bad about these bigger sets, they just get to be kind of big for, you know, working on this. Okay, I forgot to put one piece in here, and I didn't see that. It's pretty easy. Yeah, so far I'm pretty pleased with this. It's not bad. I've had some of the stuff like these flake off, but for the most part I think this is more just as a display display piece than anything else. Okay. That's pretty interesting. And this right here kind of lines up with this. Now, how would you line this up? I would just, you know, just line it up one way and just start wiggling and jiggling until you get it right in the center right there. And then I'll put that back on there. I just wanted to pick it up and show you. So stick this one in here first and just kind of rotate it until it's right in the center and it'll snap right in place. It's just, like I said, when I do builds, when I do tutorials, I don't build big stuff like this. This is commonly something I would never do in a video until this channel's kind of took off, and I thought, well, okay. And I did get a request about 4K, and I will do 4K once this channel really grows. You know, 4K files are kind of a mess to deal with. They take longer to render and stuff like that, and I'm not going to do it on here unless there's like probably 10,000 subs, lots of views. You know, right now my main goal is my main channel right now, and 4K files are just not really nice to deal with. Alrighty, we are missing one of those pieces. Alright, did it float under here? No. Missing one. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, missing one. Where did it go? I got a nice back to the thing. What does that look like on the back? Yeah, not too nice, huh? And I bet it attached on the studs on that. We're a long ways away from that right now. And yes, I got the one of my small tutorials published, the stereo rack system, and I'm really surprised a lot of people don't watch the furniture tutorials because they are going to be part of a bigger mock. And eventually they'll be part of the building guide for something else, and then that'll be the end of that. And then I'm going to hear, where do I get the building guides for this, or where do I find the tutorials? Alright, that's it right there. Now, you guess it, I probably had it commented before. Alright, let's leave this flipped over here. So it looks like bag 10 just does the back portion of this. I don't know. And White's such a bland color to work with when it's Lego. But when I was a kid, building a house in white was a treat because it's all you had. Alrighty. I gotta make 4 of these. There we go. Yeah, so at least now I'm getting tutorials. I'm working on vehicles. I'm working on the boat. And trying to get all that going. And cars are not hard. It's just, in filming wise, are pretty easy. It's just designing up the build and getting them prepared is another issue. And okay, so that's where all those shoe gliders are supposed to go, just like that. And we flip it back over and we're going to add more plates to it. All right, no, we can't put that there. We got to make it even with the corners. There we go. And then, you know what? We got to build 2 of these. We need the round plates. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just kind of set these up. And I know a lot of people just don't like the furniture tutorials. They don't like those type of builds. I always get complaints. Why don't you just build nothing but cars and campers? I mean, I have a life other than YouTube, and 2, these smaller builds are part of bigger builds. And back in the day, I would get requests for the smaller stuff. Oh, I want to see the build on that little TV, or how did you build that sofa? And I just kind of started adapting that more. So when I would do house builds, and that furniture you guys see on my YouTube channel was supposed to be from a house, and I never got to it. So whenever I get back to building that model, I can put the furniture in there. And if I have to part it out, well, the furniture can go back in, you know. Okay, it'd be easier to pick this up here and kind of mush this down, you know. I remember I had someone complain about oh, you make too much furniture. Why don't you make more campers? So, I just can't. Campers take a long time, and you're talking about doing a building guide with those campers. It's a lengthy process. From complete start to complete finish, about 12 weeks. You know, because I have other things to do than Lego. And that's it for bag 12. So bag 12 just did that, essentially. Okay, let's see how 13 goes. And yeah, you can. That's a good preview right there, what we'll be doing with here. You know, I may want to set this off to the side. There we go. How can you work on a cluttered workbench, Jay? Yeah, that's just how it is. There we go. It's a challenge. You just have to balance it out. We're going to start right here at the bottom. Start pulling out all these big parts here and start dividing things out until I find a 1x4 flat tile. Yeah, last night I was so tired when I was doing this. So I'm on a deadline, and like I said, I want to get on my own projects. All right. That's the only medium blue, or no, that's light royal blue. And then I'm looking for a 1x3 plate. Put these over here. So if you're having a hard time finding a part, and some of you have said when you open up a bag you pre-sort the parts, yeah, that's recommended. If I had to do that on here, I would literally be spending weeks sorting parts out before I do the build, and that would just take too much of my spare time to do so. Let's put this up here now. Oh, it's two 1x3s. I was looking for a 2x3. Go in here. Okay. And then the next thing is plenty of tiles in here. I like tiles, those who don't know. Have the window open today. It's nice. It's until somebody ruins it. I don't know. All right. Yeah, I'm hoping to get this boat project started here. Actually, I got it started. I'm hoping by tonight I can get the trailer built for it and finalized, because I got the frame of the boat built. The boat's not done, but I got the frame of it built. So now I can get to the point of I can work on the trailer and the boat at the same time for speedier builds. And got another request to watch a video, and it was another speed build the other night. I was like, oh. That's like cool, and just like I can't. My tutorials, though, I remember doing a poll, and many people have told me, no, Jay, don't do speed builds. If you do speed builds, do them on another channel, but don't. You know, don't. But all the big popular YouTubers do it, because in order to, you know, with viewer retention, you have to constantly rewind the video back just to watch the whole tutorial. And by then, I lose interest. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It's just too much fast forward and rewinding. You have to use a little scrubber, and, you know. I think those speed builds are just targeted for little kids. They're not really targeted for adults. Because to me, I want to have a little information on doing stuff. I don't want to just sit there. It's like if I did a speed build on this, you'd be lost if you were trying to figure out where you messed up. It wouldn't do you any good. And if I were to do, since I use this, these are my notes for my review, I wouldn't know. I would be totally lost. You know, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to pre-sort all these out now. I'm trying to find a 1x4 flat tile. Those are pretty elusive here. All right, and that's what it is so far. Yeah, it's a lot of tiling. I bet we're going to be doing more here soon. Exactly, that's what we're doing. But yeah, you know, I mean, I understand why some people do speed builds. There's certain, but I mean, I want to explain to you what I'm doing. It makes the build more complete. If I were just to sit here and just, you know, do piano music and just point like this, like take this and then point there and you put it there. I mean, that doesn't do me any good as a viewer. I would just get turned off by it. You know, I mean, everybody does their own way of filming. That's cool. I just can't get into them. Well, I've got a lot of little parts in here. Guys and gals, if you're not a fan of just these little parts like this, this may not be a set for you. I'm not trying to scare you from getting this set. It's just, you have been forewarned. All right. And then there's a quarter round in here. There's a lot of little parts in this now. Big parts and little parts. This set, I would say it's got average parts, you know. Average in terms of just that. Okay, got this side done. Now we got to do this side here a bit more. That's why sometimes I'll ask like a poll on my YouTube channel, like, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you guys and gals think? And if you say, no, 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 Jay, please don't do that, or yes, Jay, please do that, and I'll do it. It's just like request. In fact, somebody had told me the other day that there's a specific Lego YouTuber that gets angry if you make suggestions for future videos, because it's considered telling him what to do with his Lego parts. You know, sometimes I'm stumped, or sometimes, you know, somebody will suggest an idea, and I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Now, how do I approach that? That kind of thing. So I don't ever get mad about it. And I think that is it right there. So we're getting there. Okay. So bag 13 is just basically tiling. And we have to make 2 of these little things here. At least I pulled all these out. Yeah, white pieces on a white table, and it's just big. It's becoming a chore here. And then let's grab a couple of these. I remember going through some of my really early videos on here, and there were some guys on YouTube that literally would just tease me and call me some very inappropriate names. And these comments were like from 2010 or so. And they weren't even on my block list. And I thought, well, I mean, it's a little, time has expired, but I just pulled those comments down, and I thought, well, I just blocked. One of the accounts was still active, and I thought, well, I blocked them. And they were subbed to me too, but they never had commented recently, so I don't know. Probably have their notifications turned off. I think these go in these notches here, right here. I think it's safe to press on that. All right, we have a problem here. Right, this is supposed to go here. Yes, I do make mistakes. Okay, and then after that, we got to make more that are slightly different. And where's that other piece at? Did it roll off? Did it go underneath? There we go. Yeah, Lego is slowly getting rid of the printed building guides and going digital. You know, I mean, it's going to happen eventually. We just all got to get used to it, especially for us older guys who like the paper stuff. And honestly, though, if it's a PDF file, I'm fine with it, because paper manuals like this is taking up more space than my iPad would. My iPad, I could just set it up on a little perch, and then I'm done. You know, that's not too bad. But when these are pre-releases, they don't even have the building guides where you can download them. So it's kind of pointless at that point. All right, so this right here, well, something flew off. Oh, I thought something did. All right, I was looking at that thing. Well, there's studs here. Wouldn't this clash with these? No, they don't. In fact, I was looking into stud the other day, and they actually do make a 1x1 piece that looks just like that with the stud on the side. I'm like, about time. That would be a very helpful part. But it takes Lego a long time, I guess, to add new parts to the system. Okay, now we're doing this 1-to-1 thing, I believe. And is that 1-to-1 or is that not? No. All right, so now we're going to have to really pay attention here in terms of where all these go. So I'm just going to start grabbing things, and they're supposed to hang over the edge. Matter of fact, the best thing to do is look at step. I'm on step 1401, or I'm on step 401. If I go to 402, I can actually do these right here too. So I may as well just do 401 and 402 together, and just kind of work my way around here. And then these go. Okay, we are missing something here. There's a tile there. Oh, I missed a whole spot in here. Okay, I missed step 398. Put that in there because it's not critical with this step here. And yeah, you will miss things from time to time. I've done it so many times in here, you would not know. After all those tilings, I kind of got distracted. Like I said, even when I write up a computer program, I never get it right the first time. There's always a bug or something. I remember even when I was in grad school, I had a professor that would say, hey, if you think you're going to come in here and write up programs without making any mistakes, you're dead wrong. And he was right. It's, you know, you can't. He says even he makes boo-boos and stuff like that. You know, just how it was. And he's like, don't just come in here thinking you're not going to make mistakes. All right, and that's it. So far, that's what it looks like. And yes, this is pretty flimsy. It's very flimsy. We're only like 3 plates, or 4 plates, and it's just not even sturdy enough. And this is definitely just a decorative piece. And I'm going to do steps 403 and 404 together. Let's start with the hinges first. You don't have to do what I'm doing, guys and gals. If you think you cannot do that and multitask, do not do it. Okay, just don't. Don't do it. You know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of cruising along here. Okay, we're just filling all the little spots in. And I'm just grabbing parts here and just doing these. We need 4 hinges. I've only placed in 1 hinge. And hinge plates are pretty good because you get to use them to lock that in. Now I bet this is going to be pretty strong. Well, unless you drop it or something, but I mean, who on earth would do that? And before anybody asks, no, I'm not going to do a drop test on this. How strong is this now with the hinges? Yeah, see, it's not as flimsy now. It's still a little wobbly, but not too bad. Let's get all these parts from under the manual here out of the way. I'm going to start sliding all these studs and stuff over here. I need a bunch of these little 1 by 1/4 rounds. Start shoving those in there. Getting those out of the way. In fact, I don't think I never checked and see if I got any more bully comments today. I have to do that after I get done with this with this bag here, and we'll see. Usually it's comments that contain hurtful or offensive language. I always like reading those. Those are always fun. So right now I'm just kind of sorting out parts and getting them out of the way, just so I can find the little pieces that go in here. You will be spending a lot of time on this. It would have been easier if we put the tiles in first and then put these big things in the middle. I would have written this up a bit differently than what Lego did. When you write your own building guides up, then you start seeing mistakes that others have made. Like, oh, why didn't they do this first? It'd be a lot easier. Unless you have little fingers. I don't know what I did. Oh yeah, I put the box in the shop. There we go. And then that's that. So that's what it looks like so far. You know what this looks like? One of those little fans you'd use to cool yourself out on a hot summer day. Just put a stick on it and you're ready to go. Okay, now we're gonna do all that there. It's just one part. So now we're gonna have to start putting in the little tiles in here. And okay, you actually got to put one on the hinge to kind of hide it, huh? Don't be honking your horn at me. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I remember when my car horn would not work. I put that in the wrong place. Took the steering wheel thing apart only to find out that the switch inside was just rusted up. And I thought, wow, okay. So I just went in there and removed all the rust and coated it with coated WD-40 to repel the water. And ever since it's worked. It still works. And like the next time it does that again, I'm going to put myself an enclosed switch in the steering wheel. But the steering wheel has like a wire that attaches to the middle part. They're using the ground, and there's a spring in there. When you turn the steering wheel, the wire doesn't get all tangled up and stuff, so that's what they used. And I had to go in there, and I'm glad that part didn't break because that part was expensive. It was like 30 bucks. I thought, well, that mine wasn't too bad. I just polished it up and went on my way. Piecing these old cars together is just something else. It's like Lego. It's expensive too. It's to be like a money pit. And there you go. Okay, and then we are building a mirror here for the ends. So what I'm going to do is, well, that's just something I have to pick up, huh? Alrighty. Alright, I'm going to have to move this off to the side. There's just too much crap on here. And then we're going to start with this. The one closest to me is the one in the manual. Yeah, Lego, where's those 1x7 plates at? Also, that came in handy in this set. And yeah, it sounds like we're lazy and stuff, but sometimes if I'm trying to span something that's 7 studs, yeah, it's easier to do that than trying to piece it together, making it 10 times thicker. Okay, I need to stick a 1x1 plate at the end here. There's a bunch of parts that go on this here at one time. Yeah, I did get another request for leaks. And it's starting to get irritating now about the leak stuff. I don't do leaks, you know, it's like, no. Well, Jay, all the other big boys are doing it. Yeah, that's why they're popular. They do that, but it's a risk. You actually can get a copyright strike for that. Or worse. A knock on the door, you've been served. And then these go here. And I don't want to have a suit coming up to my door. No, it's not. I would not set a good tone with me. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, so bag 13 basically just did the decorations on the back of the clamshell, and that's what we have remaining. And yeah, not too bad. Okay, I hope this is 14 because I have it listed with just a 4. That's where my number 4 went. I was looking for that container. And yeah. And the first thing we got to do is put together a minifigure. And let's do her first. Let me set this off to the side here. Alright. Hold on, let me put... Oh. You get too many parts up here, it's kind of a pain. Alright. I like the printing on some of these figures, they're pretty cool. Yeah, I think on the iPad, I know on mobile you can actually, you know, pinch the screen or something like that, and you can actually zoom in on things. So once we get 4K going on here one day, you can just zoom in on what I'm doing. And there she is. I don't know what her name is. Okay. Now we're going to... Okay, what I'm going to do here... I need to... let's just leave it here because I know we're going to need... I don't want to move that too much. So bag 14 looks like it does what we did down here with this decorative stuff. So we're going to have to start putting that together. Yeah, so that's not pretty. So what I'm going to do is start pulling out parts, put her over there, and then once I find the parts that I need, I'm ready to go. All right, I need another one of these. Yeah, but it's a good idea to sort everything out, pre-sort before you start doing all this. All right, let me just move this out of the way. Hope I don't sit on it, and we'll do that. Okay, so far so good. Alrighty. Oh, doing these little type of builds like this, they're kind of hard to get together. I'm looking for another slope. So you just start stacking your parts until you know, when you get towards the end, it's pretty easy. All right, and that's it so far. Okay, I need this big one here. And we just put these on the top here. Yeah, I was in a big box store seeing all the new Lego sets, and kind of wish Lego would send me those. Stuff that you see on the shelf. I'm probably sure you'll see this on the shelf in a big box store. If you're going to advertise, wouldn't you advertise the stuff that everybody has access to? Not a lot of people use the internet, you know, or have access to a Lego store. And you're kind of like, well, wouldn't it just make more sense just to advertise the stuff that's available at a big box store? Just imagine if I was in this hobby without access to the internet or to an online store. It would just be brutal. All right, I'm trying to find these right here, these little lattice slopes. Probably 25 degrees. Yeah, I was thinking about some more of those camping trips I used to go on with my parents when I was a kid. And I always just remember just all the fun stuff. And I need one more of those little slopes. We're going to find it eventually, guys and gals. Well, by the time we're done sorting all this out, we'll find it, huh? This goes over here. Gee, that's taken forever, yeah, but just imagine it's going to save time in the long run. I need a slope, but that's too big. In case it rolled into the manual. Oh, I see it. I do have a bunch of these, so I'm not too worried. Alrighty. It's almost like what we did down here. It's pretty much identical. I think we're supposed to make 2 of these, huh? I bet we are. No, that goes in the middle, so never mind. Alright. I was like, oh, maybe I need to speed through this one here. Alright, and this goes right here. There's a lot of snot there to do that. Snot stands for studs not on top. Alright, and we need this piece here again. And this goes right here. So we're getting there. Okay, set that off to the side, and then now I'm going to kind of read ahead here a little bit. Oh, and we're not done with that yet. They threw a little surprise on us here. Got to take 2 tiles and tile this in. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's it. All right, so now I am going to check real quick here. Okay, so this one's a mirror. This would be faster if we just mirror it out. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is grab 2 of these. This one's the one I'm working from the manual. This one here is going to be its reflection. And we're going to start putting this stuff together here. And yeah, get ready to go. Okay, put the 1x3s there. Alrighty. Building stuff is not too bad, but when it's on a deadline, it is. Alright, making sure these are identical here. But like I said before in previous times, you don't have to do this if you don't feel comfortable doing all that. There we go. Got its reflection done. Okay. Gotta make 2 of these real quick. And then this little booger here goes here. And we're not done with that step yet. It's because I think it requires a 2x2 plate. So you have your parts sorted out, it goes faster. And now is a slope. Yeah, I want to play Minecraft. I got that Cobblemon on there, and I finally caught me a Pikachu. I just need to evolve it for a Pikachu, and I think in order to evolve him into a Pikachu, I think I need is it an electric stone or a lightning stone or something like that. And I found one. I just need a diamond pickaxe to pull it out or something. Kind of want to get a Pikachu. I remember for the longest time there was another, I think it was, there's another Pokemon mod for Minecraft, but they got so greedy that they have it all closed source. You cannot request new features, and they finally updated for Minecraft 1.16, where we're getting ready to head to 1.20. You know, I'm sorry, but I want to play something a little more modern. Right now, it's got it for 1.19.4, I believe, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying there. You know, who wants to play an older version of Minecraft? I mean, some people do. I remember when 1.18 came out, I liked 1.17.10 or 1.7.10 because it had a bunch of the mods and stuff. And I think all the mod developers kind of grew out of Minecraft. I want to get into mod making. I just don't have the time anymore. That's the only downside to that, is I just don't have the time. I still have a resource pack or a doors pack I got to work on. Minecraft's bringing out the new doors, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. Okay, this goes down here. That means its reflection goes here. Okay. Any more surprises in there before I put that away? Because that's what it looks like here at the top. Let me set that down. I need 2 hands. Pages are stuck. And yeah, we got that out of the way. And now we got to make 2 of these. Yeah, let's just make 2. The book even tells you to make 2. So, doesn't matter which way these face because they're just a clone of one another. Okay. What am I going to do after I get this done? I'm probably going to do a final review on it real quick. It depends, because I have an engagement I got to deal with today. And I'm hoping to really start in the building guide for the tiny house and the mystery tutorial that I've been working on. Okay. Does it go like that? Like that right there. Okay. And then 2 of these. Now, we know we're getting to the end. The parts sure have gone down. And then where does these go here? All right, so these go here. Still missing the pieces that go in there. Well, that came out. Kind of risky here doing that. Okay, that's one. Now we got to put this one in over here. On this side right there. Now let me hold on to it on this end here. Boy, that just wants to buckle, doesn't it? There we go. We just got to do those 2 corners and we're done. And it looks like these are just mirrors. It would have been better if we worked outwards, but See, it's a lot faster doing them in reflections, for me anyways. And it goes like that. And after we get done with that, there's a slope that I forgot to put on here. Put those on real quick. Yep, there he goes with the weed whackers. We were talking about that out here the other day. We're like, you know, out here, you are guaranteed to hear a piece of lawn equipment 7 days out of the week. And it's true. I know with all the storms back east and those nasty tornadoes and stuff, I mean, I understand they got to hear all the chainsaws, but my goodness. All right, we have one of these little glider plates. Where did that go, huh? All right. Okay. All right. So this one goes here. That wasn't too terribly bad. And what do you do about all the little gaps in between? That's how Lego left it. They don't make pieces that fit perfectly. So you just have to deal with it. And then now we're going to have to, okay, I see where that plate goes. All right, so now we're going to have to attach this to the back. So it goes right in here on top of these. Both of these here lock right in. So just set that in there and pray it doesn't break. There we go. That's all there is to it right there. And then on the back here, they take this last glider plate and it's right here to lock that in. So don't forget that. I'm sure that that's probably critical. And that concludes bag 14. And yeah, there was nothing left. Let me see if we can get this repositioned for you here. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is so far. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let me focus in here and just ignore the power cord in the background. Yeah, so I don't know what bag 15 has to offer. Well, let's have a look. And yes, that's actually one, but that's 15 there. And yeah, let's see what we got in here. And this one here's, well, it's got a lot of little parts rolling on the floor. But there we go. Throw those over there. And let's see what the manual tells us now. So we're putting together the last minifigure. Let's put her together real quick and get her out of the way. And let's get on to the fun things again. All right. Okay, we got that. Okay, we're gonna give her just a smile here. Yeah, let's do that. And then, where's the wig? There you go. She's all done. Set her over there, and then now, boy, Ariel sure has taken a long jog. Hey, what's dropping all over the floor? Oh, I may need that. The brick separator. All right. Okay, so now we're working on another piece. So what I'm going to do here is slide this over here. Yeah, all this stuff is just rolling off. So when you're doing this one here, make sure you got something that's flat. So let me reposition everything here for you. And this is the bad thing about doing big builds. When I do tutorials, I already have everything pre-figured out. But when I do stuff like this, these sets are huge. You know, when they're big like this, they're just impossible to work on. This is like 12 inches, 12 and a half, 13 inches tall. That's a lot. So I'll start sorting out the parts because I need to start building. I think it's the last portion for up here. So bag 15, we've made it this far. I mean, I'm happy now. One step closer to reviewing and one step closer to part this thing out. And yes, I will be parting all these out. I don't keep my builds. I'm sorry. That's why I write my building guides, so I can preserve my ideas for later on if I ever want to rebuild or revisit. If I don't have a building guide, then I have to go off of a bunch of reference photos and a bunch of guessing. And I want to build, not just guess and try to figure out what I did. At least this bag's a little bit more gentle. It doesn't have a lot of the little pieces. Yeah, one of the places I remember visiting when I was a kid, I can't remember the name of it though, but the inside of this building was themed like a pirate ship and had like a restaurant and stuff like that. And I'd like to find out the name of that place. Probably doesn't exist anymore, but I don't think it was in a theme park or something. I don't remember. But I'm kind of like, where's that at? That delivery is not for me. I've been looking at getting some repair equipment for fixing some of this older stuff that I have. And some of these guys on eBay are selling this stuff like all beat to hell and falling apart, rusted, looks like it was submerged in water for top dollar prices. And I thought, well, for something that's well over 20-something years old, repair equipment is not really considered vintage unless it's like a tube tester. But some of these sellers, they think they're sitting on a gold mine. Oh, you should be privileged you're going to buy this from me. And you're looking at it thinking, no, I'm actually not. It's actually going to give me a headache. The last piece of equipment I bought, I don't know what it was, but it had so much tar and nicotine on it. Like I said, you like smoking, that's, I mean, that's your thing, that's cool. But this one piece of equipment that I got, it was a scope for tuning up FM radio, FM stereo multiplex things. And my God, it smelled like it. It smelled like a whole entire carton of cigarettes. And I opened this thing up, and I mean, you could literally just roll. You could roll probably about a whole pack of cigs from this. And I understand this stuff is vintage, right? But I don't know. I mean, it was dark brown inside, and I mean, if that was, I understand the stuff is around a smoker, but if that was from a single smoker, I mean, my God, I mean, maybe it was around several smokers or somebody who just had an ashtray sitting by it, but I was like, wow, the price is real cheap too. So I had to tear the whole piece of equipment down, and you know how when this stuff gets hot, it really just kind of stinks up. So I had to really tear everything down, clean everything, and managed to get about 99% of the cigarette smell out of this piece of equipment. But I was like, my God. I mean, it reeked bad. But I mean, I hate to think that was from a single smoker. My word. It's like, and if that does it, just imagine what that does to a piece of electronics equipment. It's like getting computers. Sometimes I'll get a computer. Somebody says, hey, Jay, can you service my computer? They'll contact me. I'm like, sure, just bring it by. And they'll bring it by, and it just reeks of smoke, of tobacco. And now I know Apple doesn't accept it. Now I charge it's a $1,000 non-refundable fee that I have to, it's a cleaning deposit fee. A guy wanted his PC restored, and I said, oh, sure. And I just had to ask. I said, I said, just by chance, is this from a smoker? You know, I just want to let you know. And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, well, I charge a fee, and, you know, last time I took something in like that, my whole shop smelled for about a month. I mean, it was just, I understand people do that for pleasure, that's fine, but, you know, it's not good for your computers. It builds up all that sticky tar and stuff on your cooling system, and then pretty soon the computer just overheats. It's 10 times worse than the dust, because the dust just clings on to stuff. But just imagine if that stuff is sticky. Now I will not take any of that stuff, you know, and it's just, you know, have I had anybody get angry with me? Not really. They understand. I mean, I'm not a smoker, so I don't know, but But I've had, you know, other than the cigarette smoke stuff, I've also had stuff that's had mouse droppings. Yeah, I'll get a computer with it's just infested with roaches, and it needs to be fumigated. I've had it all here, you know, and especially the old TVs that I get too. I know that stuff's been around plenty of smokers, but when I work on old TVs, like there's one that I'm working on now, it has a nice broken up piece of asbestos inside on the top. So I had to wet it down and put it in a bag, and then it sits on a shelf in my shop until I go and recycle. And I have to take it down to the hazardous waste. Usually I get a bunch of, I just double bag it. And yeah, it gets expensive to recycle that stuff, but you don't want that stuff getting into the water table and stuff like that. Some people just throw it away. Asbestos is not good. If it's intact, it's not broken, it's a good, asbestos is a good insulating material, but not when it's broken and then you're inhaling it. That's a million times worse than smoking. Wait a minute, hold on. Did I miss something there? Okay, there's a 1x1 plate that goes in there. Well, yeah, and it's not even the joints are not overlapped. Yeah, that's bound to happen. Yeah, tonight we're all having leftovers. Oh, there's a 1x3 plate that goes there. And it's leftover Chinese food. I'm like, oh, God. Here I'm off, everybody wants to have leftovers. No, I'm going to they want leftovers, I'm putting a steak on the grill. You know, I'm tired of fast food. You have it all week. It's like, okay, it's the weekend time, I got to have something that's Yummy. Not that. I was wondering why they didn't fit in there. But my apologies if I say something to a smoke, or, you know, just let that be known that, you know, if I ever bring something to me for servicing, I probably won't service it because it would just be, for me, it's just kind of smelly, and I don't want that in my shop. Okay. A stem and a little light purple stud flower goes in here. Okay, we're finally getting to the decorative stuff. We hadn't even done anything with this piece here yet. It's just still sitting there, you know. It's still sitting there. We haven't even tackled that one yet. Sounds like that's some kind of a hedge or a chainsaw. It's hard to say. Yeah, I saw on the thing about all those homes that got destroyed back east. I thought, wow. Our worst weather's yet to come. It's called forest fires. Matter of fact, the mountains have over 200% snow. I'm sure they're going to be pretty damp. Yeah, that's kind of an odd piece there. What are we doing with this anyways? Here we were talking about we haven't touched this. Now we're touching it. Now we're doing a lot to it here. Okay. And that's what it looks like there. And yes, I have a lot of friends who smoke. But they're respectful not to really kind of do that around me too much. And no, some people say it's the asthma. It's not the asthma. My asthma doesn't get triggered by the cigarette smoke. Mine gets triggered by something worse called pollen. Put that back there. And then we're doing something round here. Yep, that's how it is. I like it when they do these one-to-one things. Is that one-to-one? Yeah, pretty much. And you gotta fall. I think this might be critical where these go, so. Yeah, I can't remember that pirate ship place, but it also had arcade games and stuff in there too. I can't remember what it was. There we go. And then we place a bunch of plants here. I don't know how critical they are. I'm just going to start dropping things down in here. And yeah, there was another guy on YouTube that I was watching that does tech videos, and it was about maybe 80% through his content. And then all of a sudden he started ranting about politics stuff, and I thought, oh, you were probably one of the very few left that I watched. I guess everybody's getting into that point. And I'm just kind of like, dude, you just lost another viewer. Yeah, I mean, on here I kind of talk about some topics, but there's just certain things I won't go into. I still would like to build a church in Lego, like a complete mock. And then these go here. One time I said, in my discussion tab, I was like, guys, what do you guys think about me building a church? as a monk. As I said, it'd be something I haven't done before. And I said, it's just going to be an ordinary church, nothing special, just a church. Oh, you need to do this religion, you got to do that religion. I'm just like, okay, never mind. There was a fight in the comments about what religion I would pick for it. And I was just like, yeah, that's never going to happen. And I think that's it for that one. It's supposed to hang over a little bit here. I thought that would sit center on that, but I guess that just sits there. Okay. I like these little pieces here. Too bad I'm not into sea stuff, but... This one goes right there. All right. Yeah, but so far, I'd say the build quality on this is above average to pretty good. Pretty good to above average. Just because some things are kind of flaky, I think this is just meant as a display piece. All right, and I'm kind of getting tired of sitting. So I'm going to get this done here so I can get up and move around. And then this goes here. I think it locks in here. Okay, that's how I'll show you. That's what it looks like there. That corner where this yellow flower, there's a stud underneath that. That's supposed to go right into that right there. And yeah, this morning I got an email about another, can you teach my son? Can you tutor him for math? And I'm like, I can, but if it's a teaching job, no. I'm not getting up for the phone. But make a fish and set it in there. Well, this is going to be kind of a chore. Hope we're not pressing any more on the top of this. I guess it's fine. The fish is not interfering with it. And one more fish here. Well, oh, that flew down on the floor. Let me go get that real quick. I don't know where that went. All right, so I'm going to say the build quality on this now is now an average. Remember, it was kind of leaning towards that anyways, but now I got to backtrack and figure what broke off, so now I'm going to say it's down to average. And my build quality on my stuff is average too, but when you have to spend half the day to try to figure out where everything goes, yeah, it degrades the build experience a bit. In fact, I still got to get outside and clean my air conditioning coils, but I got the pool guy coming in. He uses that side of the house to go do the pool stuff, so I can't just go out there and start blasting. Okay, now we're going to have to change the position of the camera because now we're going to have to start putting all this big stuff together. So, all right. There's a kid out there that always plays basketball. Maybe it was one of the people that wanted me to homeschool, or his parents. do the math and science curriculum. Well, all right, this is going to be challenging here. I'm assuming that this just goes there. Now, I'd press on the back where this is at and just push this in very slowly here. Just really mush that in there, but I'm doing it very slow. I'm not going to rush through that. There we go. And now, in addition, I got to make 2 more fishes to put in here. Picking up these little round light swords off the counter is hard, especially you don't have any fingernails. And then there's 2. Okay, they go right here in this spot. Make sure that they're the belly is down. We don't want the belly up. Oh, the fish are swimming towards this thing. Doesn't look too bad. I just don't like the fish just kind of hanging in here like that. But I understand that's the only way to do it. Ariel, you're still jogging, huh? And then that big piece that we did, this one goes next. So this thing here goes on the top. And I think it attaches here. Yeah, because we got this glider plate here, and there's more crap falling off. Something else I have to bend down and pick up. Making sure that these deliveries are not from me today. I'm not expecting any Lego sets, but oh man, you need to get those brakes fixed. My goodness. All right, I'm just trying to find a safe place to put my finger at. I got my hand in the back here, holding this down here. And I'll show you here, when you do the back, hold right in this area right here. Right there. So. Okay. Not too bad. And now, she fell off, but we don't have a lot of parts left. Now I got to make 2 of these real quick. Now, I'll get that later. I'm kind of getting tired of working on this thing. You know what? I forgot to put a leaf piece in here. Let me just get to these first. Yeah, I used to be into that basketball stuff when I was that age. Okay, this one here. Got to be careful where we hold on to this. Stick this right here. Okay, I don't know how that's supposed to go. And then this other one probably goes right there. And I gotta go pick up whatever fell on the floor. I'm just gonna have to deal with the wiggly camera. So I still got this pink piece, and I think it goes in here. Let me backtrack a little bit here. Yeah, I skipped that one. Oh, it's buried under there. It's right there where I thought that stud was left open. Now let me put that in there real quick here. Yeah, let's get that real quick. Yeah, sometimes you'll look at something thinking, I'm missing pieces. Just take your time. I get comments, so I got a bunch of spare little pieces. If it's like one of each, it's fine. But if you got 3 or 4 of them, then you missed something somewhere. So I'm just going to peel this up, stick that in there right here, and put this little guy back down here. And that does happen. I do sometimes forget. Okay. And get back to where we left off at here. We pass the spring green fish, and then we attach our figures. And that's it. Let's wrap that up here. And this is what we have remaining right here. Just 4 pieces. Not bad. And now we're going to put the figures on here. So now, let's put her on here. And you just attach these little sticks. You just attach these on here like this. And don't worry, we'll take a better look at this here in a second. For the most part, though, I am happy with the build experience. The build quality is just average at this point. And she can stand here. Now, that's done. That is done. So, put that out of the way, and we got a nice brick separator as a consolation prize. Let's back that up here. We're gonna take a quick look at this. Now, when I do this, I don't know how I'm going to do the review on this yet. I don't know if I'll do it now or not. But we're going to... If you want to see more of a detailed thing, we will... we'll worry about that later. Okay, so... there it is, all done. That's 1,808 pieces for $160. And yeah, it's very colorful, you know, and it weighs a lot, but you got to be careful picking this up. So this is not something, once you find a place to put it, just leave it there. If you got a Lazy Susan, even better. So that's what the back looks like. And of course, one side's got to face the wall, right? So this could be sitting on a shelf, as long as you got about 13 inches or I think about 40 centimeters of space here to clear it, you're fine. So is it playable? Let's just do the review, because that's pretty much the tour. There's nothing to show in here. Everything's pretty much fixed. There's nothing really, floating in here. Everything's just fixed. So there's nothing to show. It's just a display piece. And okay, let's start with play value. You could possibly play with it, but this is so beautiful, I wouldn't play with it at all. But you could actually play with this and stuff. There is some space that you can do. But I think maybe more and more this is just meant for a show. This is not really meant for full play value. I think this is just more just as a display piece. But it is possible. Now, for my build experience, it was pretty good. This is a very relaxing build. Some points where the white was getting kind of bland, that was fine, but for the most part, the build experience is pretty good. Build quality, like we've seen where some pieces were falling apart, it's pretty sturdy up to a point. I'm going to say this set is average to above average in build quality, nothing else. Okay, nothing else to say about that. It's just average to above average. Everything's interlocked. Stuff like this, these do come apart. They're just held in by only 2 studs, so you got to be careful. Don't pick it up like this. Pick it up from the bottom. So parts of this can be a bit fragile. Could this be integrated in a mock? It's pretty much standalone, so probably not. As for a Lego City, I don't think so. Maybe some of the ideas. Excuse me, but I don't think this could be integrated into a city. But you could just take some of these scenes out of here and do it. For the most part, though, it's pretty good. So, is it worth $159.99? And yes, it is. I think it is. You're going to get a good build experience out of this. And there's one thing I need to mention, though. Can this be broken down for family build? maybe parts of this could. As you saw, we had to put some pieces onto this and down here. So I'm going to probably lean towards more of no. This is not a family build, you know. But we do have the 5 minifigures, this fish thing here, and there was something else that I forgot to mention, but I'm just glad it's done. But I enjoyed it though, because I want to get back into my own builds. So if you ever get this set, you're not going to be disappointed with the build. There's some new building techniques and stuff like that in here. But, you know, all in all, it's just a display piece. It's just a shelf queen. Something you can, if you're into Lego Disney stuff, if you're into the Little Mermaid memorabilia, yeah, this would be good. It's just a beautiful display piece. But I think the play value, it looks like it's playable, but I'm not sure. I mean, this is pretty sturdy. I don't think things are going to fall off. These fish may fall off, but for the essential parts, I don't think it is. So I'm, with my summation of thoughts here, it's just a good set all around. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with this one. And I'm hard to please when I'm doing Lego reviews. Sometimes I'm blunt honest. I'm being blunt honest. This one. This is a good one. This is a good one. And yes, for $160 for 800 plus pieces, and probably for several hours of build time, yeah, it's be cheaper than going to a movie, right? And you get to keep this and take it home with you. But tell me what you think of this set. For me, I think it's a good value. It was a good build.